listening to Critical Eye.
What's going on, guys? Critical Eye here again. My name is Kevin. This is...
I'm Drew.
Chris.
And we are here today with another film review. We saw the recently released Top Gun Maverick, starring Tom Cruise, Miles Teller, Jennifer Connelly, a few other people. Forget the guy who plays Hangman, but I've seen him before. The guy who plays Bob, I've seen him before.
Oh, and Val Kilmer was in it.
Spoiler. Yeah, let's get into the...
That's not really a spoiler.
Oh, yeah, everyone knew that. Never mind. There was something...
At the beginning, they put him in the credits, so I don't think it's a spoiler.
Well, that was also something that they had said before the film came out.
Yeah, and he wasn't it's not like he was a vital part.
No, but he was reprising his role briefly.
Yeah, briefly, very briefly. But yeah, let's get into it. Top Gun Maverick follows, Tom Cruise's character from the original movie back in, the 80s, wasn't it? 70s or 80s?
86, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, from the original Top Gun. Pete Maverick, Top Gun fighter jet pilot. This movie, he's less of an actual pilot, more of a teacher.
Yeah, the first one he was learning.
Yeah, the first one he was learning. He was really good at flying, but he was learning more of the, being safe when you fly. He was kind of a wild card. In this one, he's teaching a group of young fighter pilots to fly like he does, so that they can carry out this really specific, really tough mission that's in a really small time crunch. Like two and a half minutes, I think it was. It's let's get into it. I like it. It was a really good movie. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I agree. I really liked it. We had all recently seen the original Top Gun for the first time in preparation for this movie. After seeing the two pretty closely together, I kind of like this second one more than the first.
Yeah, I agree. I watched the first one the day that we went to go see it, because I'd never seen it before. When did you watch Top Gun?
So the original, I had actually seen, not in its entirety, a few years ago. It was on TV. My dad was watching it. It was a little past the halfway mark at the end. And then another time I'd seen the first half. So some other point separately. So then the week before we saw it, I just went and I sat down and I watched the whole thing, because I'd only ever seen it in parts before.
Yeah.
And I really liked the original, but I do think the second one, for me, I liked it more, personally. But that might just be because I didn't grow up with the original.
It's possible.
I don't know, but...
I never watched the original because, to me, it felt like one of those really cliche movies, kind of like Baywatch.
It's an 80s thing, yeah.
Yeah, it's an 80s thing, but I thought it was going to be more just dudes with their shirts off playing volleyball on the beach, But
you got that in the second one.
Yeah, in the second one you got that a little bit, but the first one was definitely more of that. And then, the first one being in the 80s was very impressive, because, it's got to be tough to shoot those fighter jet scenes in the 80s, back when they didn't have, and although it's Tom Cruise, so I doubt they were anything special effect. They were just him in a jet.
I'm sure the first one was also practical. I just don't know how practical it was. I know this one was all practical effects.
Yeah, they made a bigger deal about this one having the fighter jet, because I don't know how much... I didn't really look into how much it was in the original.
So I had read that they went to, I don't remember what base it was, but they basically gave the military $11,000 a day, or some insane amount of money like that.
Is this for the first or second?
The second one.
Yeah.
They gave to use the planes in the movie. And most of the scenes, they didn't let Tom Cruise actually touch the controls because they're military planes, and those things are in the millions and millions of dollars. Yeah. But he did do some of his own flying. I do know.
And I wouldn't expect anything less from Tom Cruise.
I don't know which scenes were him actually flying. I don't know which scenes were someone else, because all the other actors, they were just in the cockpit. They actually had they had actual pilots piloting.
Yeah, I'm sure some of the more intense scenes, when he ran the course, I'm sure he didn't actually do a lot of the things when they were doing the dogfights,
or
flying upside down.
I don't know if he did the bridge thing when he that might have been him actually, because he's supposed to be a really good pilot.
Maybe, but I think more of they probably trusted him with them more of the scenes where he was just kind of flying normally, the beginning where he was reaching Mach 10. Mm-hmm. I'm sure that might have been him. He may not have actually reached Mach 10 like Tom Cruise. It might have just been them showing he made 10. But him just flying in a straight line,
Yeah.
they probably were like, yeah, you can do that. Like,
Well,
it's no big
they
deal.
only filmed that scene once because if you, I don't know if you noticed, but it blew that part of the set away
Yeah.
when he went over. Like the roof of that building came up.
Yeah.
That
Yeah, I
was
saw
like
that.
not planned.
Yeah, that was insane. So yeah, I'm sure he did some of his own stuff, like probably just the scenes where he was cruising around, you know, just watching them while they were flying or something like that. But he is insane. Tom Cruise does a lot of his own stunts, and he's insane when he does them. Like a lot of the Mission Impossible scenes he does.
The helicopter.
The helicopter hanging off the plane while it's, you know, taking off, climbing that big ass building and like
Oh,
Abu
and
Dhabi or
jumping
something.
across the roof.
Yeah, he's insane, and he's like how old? Like 50 something?
He's
59.
gonna be 60 next year.
That's how he broke his ankle a few years ago. Remember was it Ghost Protocol? There was that scene when he's running across the.
I think it was Fallout.
So is it Fallout? I don't remember, but yeah. The lights kind of
The lights kind of flickered there. I don't know what that was.
There's a scene where he's like running across the roof and jumping, and in filming it, he went to jump across one roof to the other, and he missed and he hit his like foot on the side of the building and it broke his ankle. His foot like basically did this.
Yeah, I mean he should know from like Jackie Chan that doing your own stunts is dangerous. Jackie's almost died a couple times doing his own stunts, and Tom is close to 60. He probably shouldn't be doing his own stunts anymore. But I mean, in this one, it's okay because it's not like he's doing stuff like that, you know, where he's jumping and stuff
He's
like that.
flying a plane though.
Yeah, but flying a plane, you're just sitting
Was he-
there and hitting controls. As long as you know what you're doing, you know. You're
Was he
not-
actually flying the planes? That's what I was trying to figure. Or
I think he was in some scenes.
yeah.
Like I think the ones where he's like doing crazy shit, probably not. But when he's just kind of floating, like when I think there was a scene where there's two jets, they're like flying, and he's just kind of flying next to them, you know, just seeing them. And I think that may have been him, but I don't think any of the scenes where he actually was in the dogfights or actually, you know, running the course was him, because that takes a lot of skill. That takes probably you know, decades of experience flying fighter jets and stuff like that. So I'm sure some of them were actually him, but I'm sure a lot of it was just trained professionals.
I know, like I said, the other actors they had cameras in the cockpit. They had an actual pilot piloting, and then they were just like in the back, because they wanted to get those like real like facial expressions, and you could like see the G's like pulling their faces back.
Yeah.
And then that scene where Miles Teller he's in the seat and he kind of goes up like that. You know what I'm talking about? When they do that like invert thing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, when they're going down and like.
And he shoots up. That wasn't planned, actually. I read that he was like the straps weren't untied enough, but they decided to keep that in because it looked cool.
Makes sense. I think it was that scene, or it may have been a different scene where like they kept cutting from Tom Cruise to another actor, and they were both in fighter jets going apparently the same speed. But you could see Tom's face was just kind of like all stretched back, but the other guy was fine, and I was like, oh, he's just sitting in like a parking lot somewhere. Tom is actually in the air. Tom is like.
I thought they all went in the air.
They did.
They might have.
They were all in the air, whether they were flying or not. They were all in the air.
Yeah, but it felt like Tom was actually like going, and then this guy was just kind of like his face looked fine, like he didn't look stretched out or anything like that. But I was like, oh man, he might not be going. Like,
They probably
as
had a
fast.
lot of footage of their faces at different times, so maybe they used the wrong moment or
Possibly,
something.
yeah. And with the mask, it's easy to just be like, oh yeah, we'll just write in this line. You don't really have to say it. We'll just have a generic shot of your face.
Just ADR it.
Exactly. Yeah. Performances, I thought Tom Cruise did good. You know, of course he's Tom Cruise. He knows what he's doing. Miles Teller did really good. And then the guy that played Hangman was a really good
Glenn
dickhead.
Powell, I think his name.
I think his name is Glenn
I
Powell.
was gonna say Glenn Campbell, but that's a musician.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's Glenn Powell.
Yeah. Of course we know Miles Teller from everything that he's been in. You know, like Project X. He was in the Fantastic Four movie. You know,
Spectacular Now.
Yeah,
Spectacular Now,
Whiplash.
Yeah, Whiplash probably his biggest.
That's a good movie.
He's kind of blown up recently. Like he's at least not like blown up, but he's definitely one of the young rising stars in Hollywood.
That's because actually I hadn't seen it in a while. And
Yeah.
Like last thing I remember him in was Whiplash.
That's what I was gonna say.
I've seen him in something recently, and I forgot what it was. But I don't. It definitely wasn't like a huge release.
Gonna be in actually the guy that directed Top Gun Maverick is doing a Netflix movie that's coming out. I think this coming month.
I don't know if it's this month, but it's definitely this year.
It's
called
this year pretty
Spiderhead.
soon. Yeah, Spiderhead, and he's
Oh, Spiderhead, yeah.
and Miles Teller is the main character in it, so it's the same director.
Well, Chris Hemsworth is the main character, isn't he?
Yeah, no, but
Hemsworth's
he's
the
the other
biggest-
main character. Like he's like the test subject, Miles Teller.
Oh, I got you.
Chris Hemsworth was like the doctor or whatever, whoever he is.
Spiderhead's about like a he's like a not like a mad scientist, but he's a scientist experimenting on different subjects.
It's-
And Miles Teller is like the main subject.
It's
that
based
he's
on
experimenting
a short story that was written for like the New Yorker
Yeah, I'm definitely
years
gonna watch
ago.
it. It looks good.
I read a little. It's cool.
Yeah. But then like the guy that plays Bob, I forget his name, but I've seen him in
Bob.
the entire movie. I was like, I know him from somewhere, just somewhere one. And then I was like, I know exactly where I know him from after the movie. I looked it up. He's from Bad Times at the El Royale, and he is my favorite character from that movie. And I don't want to like say who he is because you guys have never seen the movie, right?
Nah,
Not yet. I wanted to see it and I forgot about it.
Oh, it's so good, and he's a really good part of it. I realized who else is in it. It's like Chris Hemsworth is in it. Bob is in it.
Jeff Bridges, I think, is in it, right?
Jeff
Yeah, Jeff
Bridges,
Bridges, yeah.
John Hamm's in it.
John Hamm was in Top Gun Maverick as well.
He was in it.
He's a great actor, I like him.
He's a really good actor. He's a really good like straight edge.
Who
guy,
was
straight arrow.
like the guy that played as like not assistant, but like the guy that was always with him, the black guy. I've
Yeah.
seen him before too.
Was he from the original Top Gun?
Yeah,
I'm
he
not sure if I
was.
figured that out.
I think I'm pretty sure he was.
I don't know. I don't remember seeing him in the original.
I thought he was. I could be wrong.
He might have been. I don't remember.
Because the way they were talking, it looked like him and Tom Cruise had a history.
That's why
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he was, but I don't remember.
It's possible. I think they probably brought back a bunch of people from the first one, and we just didn't.
Well, the
realize.
was it the Colonel from in the beginning of Top Gun Maverick that came and was going to shut down their experiment they were doing to get to Mach 10, and then he told Tom Cruise that he was going to go teach Top Gun. He was in the original too. He was the one that told Tom Cruise in the original that he was going to go learn at Top Gun.
He was.
He was
That was him.
That
He
was
was
him.
like-
Yeah,
Wait, no, that wasn't him.
that was him.
Sorry. I thought that was somebody else.
I'm pretty sure that was him.
It
The
may-
old white guy.
Yeah.
In this movie?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the same
Wasn't
guy.
that Alan Arkin or?
Was
Not
it Alan Arkin?
Not Alan Arkin. But no, I don't think he was in the original.
I don't know if he was in the original, but I know who you're talking
It's
about in
gonna
the
bother
original.
me now.
I know who you're talking about in the original, and I know who you're talking about in the Maverick, and I don't know if they're the same character. I think they might be different characters. Because the one in the original is the one who was like, the original guy that was supposed to go to Top Gun couldn't do it, and so he called Goose and Maverick into the office and told them like, "You're going to Top Gun," and they were like, "All right, but."
Yeah.
So I think I know what you're talking about. I think they're just two old white guys that look the same because they're both bald.
Yeah, they looked around the same age. I mean, the guy's 30 years ago. The guy's probably.
Yeah, exactly. Let's talk about a little bit about the first one. The first one I thought was impressive, because back in the 80s, I'm sure there wasn't a lot of CGI in movies. I don't think CGI really was prominent in movies until like the 90s, maybe like early 2000s.
Yeah, and probably Terminator, Jurassic Park is the ones that
Yeah.
pretty much pioneered the CGI movement.
Exactly. So I'm sure scenes where they had the fighter jets were expensive back then, especially with like
It was Ed
all the stuff that
Harris.
they had. Ed Harris, yeah.
Yeah.
Was he in both of them? I don't know if he was in the original.
I could have sworn it was him, but it might. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I think it was a different guy.
Oh, he was in Planes Flying to Rescue for the Wii, though.
Whoa.
That's a Pixar movie I've never seen.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought, all those scenes where they had all the fighter jets were really impressive, especially from like the 80s. And then I loved Goose. Goose was hilarious in the first one. Oh. And then I like how in the newer one they had Miles Teller's character, who's Rooster. He's Goose's son. He was like singing the same song on the piano at the bar.
Yeah,
That was awesome. I was
Great
like,
Balls of Fire.
yeah, I was like, I know that song. That's from the original.
Yeah, I guess bringing that up, what I felt with this movie is I felt like the first 30 minutes was pretty much the original Top Gun movie. Like, they had you're gonna get fired. Oh no, never mind, you're going to Top Gun. And they had the whole bar scene where they're all singing. None of them know that his instructor there the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Like how none of them knew, like how Tom Cruise didn't know the girl was the instructor in the original. So like everything seemed like copy and paste from the original. But then once they actually got to the scene where Tom Cruise starts teaching, that's where I think it branched out into its own movie.
Yeah, definitely a similar setup to the first one, except like roles reversed. Like Maverick's now the teacher instead of the student, but he knows now like the teacher doesn't get treated as well as the students do. And then I agree. Once he went to like teach, that's when it really started to become its own story.
I'm probably wrong. Because I couldn't see his name in the original.
That's okay.
I thought it was him because
he looks
old
definitely
white man.
He definitely looks similar to that guy.
I do know Ed Harris though, so I should have realized it's probably not him.
Yeah, I know Ed Harris from a few different things. He's from Westworld, and then a few others. But what I was saying is I lost my train of thought. What was I talking about?
We were talking about that's a good question. It had something to do with the movie being carbon. How the movie very similar to the
Carbon Copy.
Not Carbon Copy, but very similar.
Yeah, I think I think you're right. The teaching scene is when it really started to branch off into its own story, because in the original they were really like by the book when they were teaching them. But in this one, Maverick's like, yeah, no, I'm just gonna teach you guys how I know.
Yeah, so because this one felt like it had stakes to it, because in the original it was like, they were just learning how to fly in case they needed to do something drastic, and then at the end they had to do something drastic.
Yeah.
While in this one it's he's teaching them because they have to do something drastic within a few weeks.
Yeah, definitely. And bringing up the mission, I thought this movie did a really good job with explaining what the mission was.
Yeah.
Because in a lot of military movies, I don't know about you guys, but I get confused as hell when they're explaining the mission. Like they're always like, oh, this team's gonna go in here, this team's gonna go in here, and you guys are gonna meet up here, and this and this. And I always get lost in those scenes, like when they're trying to explain. Mm-hmm. But this movie did a really good job with explaining exactly what's going on. Like, you guys need to go through this. You can't go this high. You have to go up this mountain, down, bullseye, back up the mountain, and then out. You have to do that all in like 2.5 minutes. So they did a really good job with explaining that, because I had, like, that's one of my big issues with, like military movies, is I never understand the mission. Or at least in most movies. Like, I understand it. I understand they have to go somewhere. They have to probably meet an objective.
Right.
But the way they do it always confuses me in military movies.
No, I get it.
Yeah. And in this one, they did a really good job with it. I understood every step of the way. Another thing I will say is we saw this movie in XD. And that was a very good idea, because...
Well, that's the only... Because we saw it early. It was like a Cinemark thing.
Yeah.
I think other theaters are doing it too.
It was. I thought it was only Cinemark, but we saw it early, and the only showings were in XD, at least to the theater we went to for the early showing.
Yeah.
We saw it on Tuesday, and then it came out like Thursday night, Friday.
Yeah, and if I saw it in digital theater, I probably, like, after seeing XD, I probably would have been disappointed, because just the sounds of those fighter jets, they're just powerful. You can feel just like how fast, how ferocious they are. The sound of the engine is just insane in XD, and
we were also
I loved it.
Front, so you could see all of Tom Cruise's like perfect skin.
We could see his middle tooth.
His perfect middle tooth.
I had no idea Tom Cruise had a middle tooth until like
if you draw a line down him, he's perfectly symmetrical.
Yeah, apparently Tom Cruise has, how everybody has like the 2 front teeth in the front. He has 3, so there's like a middle one, and then
he doesn't have 3.
It's not 3. It's just that his jaw is just slightly to the right, I think.
Oh, I thought
it
was
slightly. No, it's just in the middle.
Oh, I thought he just had like an extra tooth right.
No, his jaw's just slightly moved over.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense. I was like, that's weird mutation how he has like a 3rd tooth right in the middle. But if it's just his jaw moving, that makes more sense. But that's still weird that his face is like
perfectly just so symmetrical. His whole
Yeah, he's just a beautiful man. I mean, Tom Cruise he doesn't age. He looks like he's 30. He's what? He's a Scientologist. Well, is that what he's?
He's a Scientologist.
Sure.
Right, yeah.
That's fine. I don't know.
He looked like he was starting to show some age, but like he looked like he was 40 compared to 60.
I saw like a picture of him like a year ago, and he looked like really bloated and like old, and I went, oh.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know if he was doing it for like a role for something.
I don't know. I doubt he takes any roles where he doesn't look in like tip top shape.
Well, his face was just bigger, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm sure in his office.
I mean, yeah, it's probably like he didn't have a movie at the time.
Yeah, he just.
Or they hadn't started filming Mission Impossible yet.
Exactly, or maybe it was like, COVID, and he
didn't get to start yelling at people on the movie set yet.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he's great. I did see a few wrinkles on his face, but I was like,
that's because we're close too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But like, he looked nothing like Val Kilmer in that movie. He's old. That dude.
Well, Val Kilmer also had throat cancer, so that's gonna do a lot to you.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, like, They're about the same age, right? They're about kind of similar.
I
age.
feel like Val Kilmer might be younger.
You think so?
Is he? I thought he might be. Yeah.
That'd be weird if Val Kilmer was younger, but he looks so much older than Tom Cruise. But Val Kilmer does have throat cancer, right?
Yeah,
He doesn't anymore.
He doesn't anymore? Well, that's good. But he still can't, like, vocalize very well.
Yeah, he can't
well.
speak.
Val Kilmer's 62. He's older.
Okay.
Oh, well, not that much,
Not
though.
much.
He's
No.
like 3 years, maybe?
2.5, 3.
Yeah. He looks like he's 20 years older than her in the movie.
It's really cool to see him, though. That was a really nice scene.
Yeah, it was. And I like how they didn't make him, like, mouth any words or actually speak. They had him typing on a computer, like, the messages he wanted to tell Maverick.
And there was the one scene we did speak, though.
There was?
Remember at the end he was saying, we need you or something like. He was actually speaking.
Yeah, he was. He said we need you to do this. I don't. He said like what did I don't remember what he was saying.
I
but
forget exactly what he said.
He basically was saying like we need you to do this. You're like the best chance that we have at doing this. You're the best person we could get. That's what he basically said.
I found out after the movie that he wasn't actually speaking.
No, it was like an AI thing.
He has an AI voice. Yeah. That mimicked his vocal cords and everything.
Yeah, I wouldn't want him to talk after what he's been through because that just seems like kind of disrespectful.
Well,
to make
he can't talk.
Yeah,
he did a movie a few years ago with his like daughter though.
Well, that was a few years ago.
I didn't know he had a daughter.
He did.
That was
interesting.
And I think he's supposed to be in something coming up too.
Probably. They were talking about using the voice thing for more.
Maybe he's gonna be in the Flash because they're supposed to bring in like all the Batmans from the Flash.
Well, that's Michael Keaton.
Yeah, but
is Ezra Miller gonna?
But
Because he's in Ezra Miller is a little.
I don't know, but that's another story for another day. That's off topic.
Yeah, that is. Sorry, wait, that's.
But yeah, I thought seeing it in XD was very impressive.
It was cool. They had this like when it first started, Tom Cruise like popped up on the screen and said, "Hi, I'm Tom Cruise," and it kind of like startled me because it was so loud.
Oh my god,
it startled you.
It's Tom Cruise.
It did. I went, "Oh."
He stood there for like a second without saying anything. He goes, "Hi."
But it was loud. I didn't expect it.
It's like he was waiting for like an applause. He's like, "Oh my god, everybody, it's Tom Cruise!" And he's like, "Hi, I'm Tom Cruise."
And this time I went, "Oh, Tom."
I wonder if that was only because we had the early showing, or if they're showing all showings.
No, I think it was the only showing.
Because I know that little documentary was the early showing.
Yeah,
actually, and then Tom Cruise popped up right before the movie started.
Yeah, it may have been like the opening weekend they did it for all of them, but I don't think they do them for.
Tom Cruise apparently said that he loves like the movie theater experience. He goes to every single movie at theater he sees them in theaters, but like in like a hat and stuff so no one recognizes him and he sneaks in.
Yeah, I mean, if you were Tom
every
Cruise,
single movie,
I would do that too because then they wouldn't leave me alone while I'm trying to watch this movie.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to watch the movie.
But he goes to every single one.
Yeah, I mean, if I was like,
we almost go to every single movie.
That's true.
Exactly. And he's Tom Cruise, like
he can afford
do what he wants. I'm surprised he doesn't have his own theater.
When are people gonna recognize us?
Dude, I already have a fan apparently.
Do you?
Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. I don't have an actual fan.
It's me.
Yeah, no. Yeah, it's Chris. Chris admires me. He watches all of our videos just to see my face.
I'm a big fan.
When he misses me.
Don't flatter yourself, Kevin. I just like the videos.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. But yeah, back to Top Gun. So going off topic, Chris.
I was going off top.
Off Top Gun.
Ick.
Off Top Gun Maverick.
Very PG-13.
Yeah, off topic Gun Maverick.
Yeah, what else did I write down? I wrote down a bunch of stuff about this movie and I keep blanking.
Jennifer Connelly.
She was okay.
She's fine.
Yeah.
She's Jennifer Connelly.
Was she in the original? That wasn't her, right? From the original? Because they kept saying they didn't bring the original girl back. Then I was trying to figure out who this girl was.
No, the original was...
I forget her name, but
I can see her.
She has like curly short hair.
Mm-hmm. Whether she was playing the same character.
No, she was playing the...
I thought it was she. Was she? I don't know.
Well, also because if they're playing the same character, I don't get why they want to just bring back the same actress.
Yeah. But what I wrote down, it's a really good sequel to a movie that happened decades ago.
Yeah.
Because usually when you have sequels now, they're a mess. Like, because some people try to do a direct sequel from the old movies, and it's like you can't do a direct sequel. You have to do it 30 years after because that's when time frames.
She wasn't playing the same person.
All right.
Sorry.
Yeah, she was.
No, it's
Yeah.
okay. But like you know how they handled Halloween's remakes. I thought it was okay, but also you're just like disregarding 7 movies, right? 6 or 7 movies.
Well, they kind of did a good job explaining that in the first Halloween remake, I thought.
Yeah.
Because, like, the girl's talking, he goes, oh, I heard Mike Miles is your brother. And then he goes, oh, no, that's one of the many, like, rumors and stories that never really happened.
Yeah.
So it's like they've acknowledged all the other movies, but they're more, like, rumors.
Yeah.
So I
But,
actually didn't mind that.
I didn't mind it, but like, I mean, there's already sequels set. There's not like, you know, it's not like you're coming into a brand new or a brand new villain. It's there's already sequels set. So a lot of movies that I see that are like direct sequels, I can't think of any off the top of my head right now, but they all, I don't like the way they do it. They make it too nostalgic and too
Like when they brought back Indiana Jones, kind of like that.
yeah,
thing.
kind of. But in this
Well,
one,
next year they're doing it again.
yeah, I saw a picture of him. But it's a really good blend of nostalgia, you know, with like definitely that beginning intro when they're on the base. That looked a lot like the original.
Oh,
intro.
or like the Jurassic, like the parks, like really when they do these like when there's like a really like a movie people love from a long time ago, and then they kind of like not redo it, but they're like they bring it back and they bring back a lot of the old cast.
They bring back
and
the
they
concept, but with new people.
But
like,
but then they also have the old cast in there playing the same
Exactly.
characters, and then they do all this like fan service stuff.
yeah,
That's what we could talk about next week because
Jurassic
World, because
The
Jurassic Park 2 and 3 are no longer canon to Jurassic World.
Wait, what?
Jurassic Park 2 and 3 are not canon.
So then why do I have to watch the other two again?
you
That-
don't.
you're doing that to
You
yourself.
don't. You just.
I thought we were gonna
Wasting your
rewatch
time.
all of them.
It looks like you just have 3 movies to watch instead of 5. I mean, I'm probably gonna watch all 5 still.
Yeah.
I guess I'll have them in my collection now then.
Yeah, I mean, 2 was a waste of time, so you don't even really have to worry about that one. But I mean, 3 was alright. I like 3.
3 shorts. Like you
3 is very short.
Yeah.
back to Top Gun.
Back to Top Gun. It was a really good introduction to the new breed of Top Gun, and it was also a really good nostalgia
Yeah.
sort of blend where they had like Val Kilmer, they had Tom Cruise, of course, you know, they had like the music from the first one. Some of it sounded like an 80s movie sort of.
Highway to the Day. Oh yeah, the Kenny Loggins song was in there again.
Yeah, exactly.
I also felt that I didn't actually have to watch the first one to understand what was going on in this one, which was nice. Like it felt like its own story enough to the point where I didn't need to get the references, and they kind of made it clear in the movie as to what happened in the previous movie and what you should know going into this.
Well, they showed the
Yeah,
flashback from the first one when like Goose.
Yeah, they showed the Goose flashback.
They showed that because he sees Miles Teller, who's Goose's son in this movie.
Yeah.
Rooster, I think.
Rooster.
Yeah, they
Rooster.
do a good job keeping people up to speed if they didn't watch the first one as well.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with people like Goose and like, you know,
Iceman.
Iceman. They're like, you don't really know who Iceman is, but you know he's somebody important from the first
If you
one.
didn't
know,
see the first one.
Exactly.
And
And you
really-
know, like, he has a high enough rank to bring Maverick into a teaching position. Like, he's
But he
Maverick.
goes, "I need to see you," and he goes, "Sorry," and then he like Maverick texts back because it's not a good time, and he goes, "I'm not asking you."
Yeah, exactly. He has some pull. What was it?
I lost my train of thought. Sorry.
Oh,
Sorry.
They kept also saying that Iceman would kept getting Maverick out of trouble, Maverick would get in trouble for something, and they would start like the disciplinary process, and I guess Iceman would pull some strings, and he would be like, "Oh,"
Yeah,
over and over again. But they're like, "Listen, it's not gonna happen much longer."
exactly. Apparently Maverick had some pull too, because like they talk about in the movie how he pulled Rooster's papers. I don't know what that means.
So
Like,
from the
Top Gun.
academy. So they explained because Goose died right in the first one, and Rooster was a kid in the first one, and his mom didn't want to have to go through that again, and didn't want to lose her son, because he was so much like his father. So she asked Maverick to pull his papers, which meant that he had to start all over again.
Yeah, they did explain that in the movie.
And that's why he was so angry at him.
Yeah,
And he
Rooster,
blamed him, yeah.
Yeah, Rooster was angry at Maverick because he thought he did it just because, but he did
didn't
it
realize
because
that.
his mom told him to.
He said for her, do it for her, not...
Exactly. He's like, I'd rather, him hate me than hate her because she's dead. You know.
Yeah, because she died shortly after. It was not like while she was dying.
It was
she asked
shortly before.
Yeah, before she died. Right?
Yeah, shortly before she died, she asked him to pull the papers.
Yeah.
And then she died, and then he pulled the papers.
Yeah, and then it cost Rooster like 4 years off of his career. And that's why he hates him, because he's like, dude, that's 4 years I could have been like flying, serving my country, being in Top Gun.
And I kind of like that more because the way they're going in the trailer is, I thought they were going to go out where he was mad because of what happened, because his father died.
Like he blamed him for the father.
And I'm kind of glad that wasn't really the reason. Like he still has grudges against against Maverick because of that one scene they had where they sort of like fought argued with each other.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I thought they were going to use like, oh, he's just mad that Goose died. But then it's actually something that Maverick did that affected Rooster, not just, oh, I'm just mad because my dad died.
I really like that. Yeah. It put a lot more of like emotions at stake than just like, I hate you because of what happened to my father. It was
exactly. Like, it's more of a connection between them. It's not like, I hate you because you did this to this guy. It's like, I hate you because you did this to me. Yeah. It's more personal.
Yeah.
And he never knew why.
Exactly.
And he probably still never knew why.
Exactly.
I thought he told him at the end, did he not?
No.
I don't know.
Oh, he did. You're right. He didn't, yeah.
No. I also thought this movie was a very good blend of like drama, action, and comedy.
Yeah.
And it was great. Like there was some pretty funny moments. I thought I was.
They're like subtly funny though. Yeah.
And like when he's
exactly.
like when he's like he does that thing when he gets past Mach 10 and then the plane blows up, and he walks into like the diner and he like drinks the water. He's like, where am I? Because he thinks he's like somewhere else because he's like in shock. And he's like in what looks like a spacesuit. And so this kid just goes, Earth?
Yeah, the kid thinks he's an alien. He's like, you're on Earth. or like the, when Miles Teller gets shot down at the end. Mm-hmm. He's like, what were you thinking? He's like, you told me not to think. What do you mean? He's like, you told me to die if I think up there.
And the thing with Iceman where Iceman goes, let me ask you something. He goes, who was the better pilot, me or you? And Maverick kind of gets quiet for a second. He goes, hey, this is a beautiful moment. I don't want to ruin it for you.
Yeah, that's when that's what he was saying when he was talking. He was like,
yeah, that's what it was. He was
and Maverick goes, this is a beautiful moment. I don't want to ruin it for you. And I was like, that's really funny.
Yeah, it was a good movie. It was a really good action movie, drama. You know, there was a lot of conflict between the characters. You knew who didn't like each other and who did. Like, obviously, Hangman and Rooster had tension because they're the two best in their class.
Well, Hangman had tension with everyone.
Hangman, because he was just super cocky.
He was just a dick. Yeah, he was just kind of an
until
asshole.
The end of the movie, then he's like,
yeah, he kind of made up for it, though.
My hubris?
Yeah. It was awesome.
I don't know if that's the right word.
I don't know.
Yeah, I was kind of expecting that to happen, but with everything that had happened before it did, I completely forgot that Hangman was in the wing. I was like, oh, man. I completely forgot he was, like, on standby.
Yeah, that's right. I did, too, for a little while. I was like... I thought he went up for some reason, and then he just didn't say anything about him. I was like, all right.
Yeah. Actually, let's break down like what the mission is. What do you guys think?
Like what we think about the mission, or
well, like what they were going to do. So basically, they had like 2.5 minutes to go past a bunch of SAM.
Because there were radar missiles where if they flew too high, they would have been shot down.
So yeah.
So they had to go low in the canyon. And they had to do it within 2.5 minutes before they got detected on their radar, I think.
So what they said they had to do is they would go through the canyon, race around, and then they would go up into like the detection of the radar, and then they would invert and go down because that's what they do in real life.
Yeah.
When they go over obstacles like that, and I think they. I don't remember how they said because they said they were gonna get detected when they did that.
Yeah, there was basically like they had two teams.
Flares, right? They said to shoot down the...
They're supposed to go through this whole canyon without being detected by the missiles, and then they were going to go... Their target was between two mountains. So they had to go up one mountain, down, hit the target, and then go up the mountain, and then down.
And then another team came in, and then it was like, what was it, like an underground...
Yeah, it was an underground base where they were hiding like uranium.
It was a uranium mill underground.
Yeah. And one team had to blow up the vent to make an entrance for the other team to drop a bomb in there. And so... Their problem was nobody could do this in under like 2.5 minutes.
Except Tom Cruise.
Except Tom Cruise. He's the only one.
Because he broke all sorts of rules.
Yeah, he's the only one who's like...
He did it like...
He's like, hold my beer. I can do this.
He did it like way under 2.5 minutes.
Well, yeah, because what happened was Tom Cruise was trying to train these people to do that. And then the upper people, like John Hamm, all that were saying, it's impossible, you can't do this. And then after Tom Cruise got fired from his training, because they fired him for after the training, he just, did what he wanted to do. Like at the beginning of the movie, just jumped in the plane and
he ran
did the maneuver. and showed that it was possible.
Yeah, and there was another funny scene where they're like, he's like, oh, we need to go lower than you guys are expecting. I forgot what it's called. It's called like something.
That's the hard ground.
The hard ground. Yeah,
it's like I think it's like 100 feet, right?
Well, it's
500.
It's 5,000 for their normal, but he was like, listen, we can't do that. We have to be like 300. We have to be very low so that these sand missiles don't get us, and we need to practice at that. And John Hamm's character's like, all right, we're not going to do that. And he goes, you need to put in a formal request. And he's already pissed for something that he did. And he's like,
because they did it.
Yeah, because they did it once. And he's like, well, here's my formal request for, for actually changing the hard ground. So they had to go down.
He goes, wait, what?
Yeah, he goes, and then the other guy's like, dude, you need to learn timing.
Yeah, he goes, because you choose the worst time to do these kinds of things.
Yeah, he's like,
he goes, he's like, I don't like that face, Pete. And he goes, it's the only face I got.
Yeah.
Because he was making this like this kind of like smirk.
Yeah. Huh. But yeah, that was a good point.
I like that line though. It's the only face I got.
Yeah. And then they were like, oh, you don't have a lot of time left. We're gonna like take over after Iceman died. Spoiler, Iceman died. But after Iceman died, they were like, you're relieved of your duties. We're gonna take over. And that's like their first class. Maverick just took a jet and he did the entire thing in 2 minutes and 15 seconds to show that he can do it. And that's when they were like, all right, fine, take over again.
Because he stole one of the planes to do it.
They didn't tell him to take over the class. I thought they told him that he was going to be the front man.
That's what it was. Yeah, he was going to be the captain of the team. Like he was going to be the guy in one of the first jets to go. To lead basically the team into the mission. And I'll say the trailer had me thinking that one of them was going to die. And then the movie had me also thinking one of them was going to die. And I was like, oh, better not be Bob. I was going to be so pissed if it was Bob. But, like, they had that scene, where Bob and... What's her name?
Phoenix.
Bob and Phoenix, yeah. They're,
I liked her a lot.
Yeah, it started off with the guy. I think his name was Wildcard or something like that. Or Wildcat. Something like that. But he, like, passed out while he was... going up really fast because it was like a lot of weight on him, and so they made it seem like he was gonna die, and then he woke up and like did okay, and then they had a bird fly into their jet engine, and I was like, oh, they're gonna die, and then they survived, and then they were like, oh no, it's Iceman, he died. I was like, somebody has to die in this movie.
Iceman died way before that though.
Yeah.
No, it was right after, wasn't it?
No, the bird flying thing was they were on the actual mission.
No, they were still practicing with the bird.
They were.
Yeah. Yeah. Because they were practicing. Because I remember
they had just finished a drill and they were like, all right, let's go back in to let's go land. And then as they were like kind of just hovering there going around, the bird came right into the engine.
I remember thinking like they still have a funeral scene to shoot. Like somewhere in this movie there has to be a funeral because it was in the trailer. And if you have a funeral in the trailer, you can't just take it out of the movie. Yeah. That would be dumb.
Yeah, when they show the casket in the trailer, it's pretty much like that's Val Kilmer.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know that. I thought it was going to
What if it was Tom Cruise? That's Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise is just putting his hand over his own grave.
Yeah. Nobody
pressing F.
Nobody punches his badge into the casket except
I didn't know. Is that a thing?
I have no idea. He did it.
Not in the military.
He went boom.
Yeah. It sounds like something they would do because that's a badge that they have on their
I'm trying to remember because my grandfather was in World War II, he was a bombardier.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember if at his funeral they put a thing on his... I don't remember. It was a long time ago.
Well, I mean, Tom Cruise voluntarily did it himself. So
I didn't know if it was part of the...
I know the flag usually is.
Yeah, well, that's that. And then the 21 gun salute.
Yeah, I don't know about the badge, though, if it's a real thing. If you guys know, leave a comment. Let us know.
Whatever, how many of you there are.
Yeah. Dude, we have some views now. Every video gets 4, 5, 6 views. But our Everything Everywhere All at Once has 20-something views. And
we have some views now. Every video gets 4, 5, 6 views.
I'm that's some views.
That is some. But the way you're saying it, we have a lot of views now.
If we get big and we have millions of views, that's when we're going to look back and be like, dude, remember when we were excited that we had 4 views on a video? Or 26
and 3 of them were us.
And 3 of them were us.
3 of them were us, and then there was one. Yeah.
Yeah, there's one dude who's just like, all right, skip, next. But
that's just my dad.
Yeah, your dad's like, well, I gotta support him somehow.
You better start Tony young.
Fast forward through everything.
Train him to start.
Dude, Tony, when he gets older, I might start a gaming channel with him. Start a Minecraft Worlds, play Call of Duty or something. It'd be awesome. But yeah, is there anything else you guys want to talk about this movie? Anything else you thought about?
Anything you guys didn't like about the movie? We kept talking about all the praises and the good.
Yeah.
About the movie.
Yeah, I don't know. I was talking about all the praises because I thought it was a really good movie. Yeah. Didn't like. I don't know. I can't think of anything. I think maybe they didn't bring back. Well, obviously, because she's dead, but maybe like they didn't bring back the same girl for his love interest.
I don't know if she's dead.
I thought she was alive.
The actress? I don't
No,
know.
I mean I was thinking Goose's wife, but she died.
Oh, I thought about the.
Yeah, that's the one who I was thinking, and then I thought about like his love interest from the first one.
I thought it was funny when he
bring her back.
When there's that scene, he slept with Jennifer Connelly, and then he was like, the daughter came home unexpectedly, so he like climbed, climbed up the window, and then the jacket drops, and he goes and picks it up, and he looks up, and the daughter's just in the doorway.
That was another funny scene. Yeah, he looked up. She's like, "What are you doing?"
I don't remember what she said. Yeah, I don't remember what she said to him.
She said like don't hurt my mom again or something like that.
Yeah,
something like
again.
That. Yeah, and then he realized, well, I have to hurt her again because I have to go on this mission. But
that scene when they were on the boat earlier, like he was helping her with the boat, they were in the water.
Yeah.
Well, I wonder if that was real, like if they actually were doing that.
I assume so.
Yeah, it looked real.
It did look real. That's why I was like,
I mean,
a lot of it's practical.
Yeah, if he's fighting like flying fighter jets, I'm sure a boat in the water is nothing. Like, if he's doing all this crazy shit, he's like,
he probably has a sailing license.
Yeah, he's like, oh, we're going fishing, sweet, let's go.
What?
I'd say he's been in a couple of boats in his movies. Like Mission Impossible, he's in a few.
The first one, yeah, it starts on a boat.
Yeah, and then the Ghost Protocol, he was on a boat.
Oh right,
yeah. Because I remember they had like a whole big behind the scenes thing about how they were filming like the boat chase or something.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a boat chase.
I haven't seen it in a while.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I really can't think of anything that I didn't like about this movie.
Me neither.
It was just really good. I mean, I think, like I was saying, like having a newer love interest for him. I thought it would have been cool to have like him rekindle the older love interest with the other girl, but I don't know what the actress is doing or what her her standing with Top Gun is. Maybe she was just mistreated, or maybe they just couldn't get her in like her schedule. But I would have preferred probably like another familiar face with his old love interest, but I didn't mind the new one.
Yeah, I didn't mind it, but like you're saying, like I didn't really like buy the whole thing.
Yeah,
I mean, like she was some character where it's supposed, he knew her from the past. There was like no really context as to how he knew her.
Exactly. So
I didn't care for that in the movie. I also mentioned I didn't really care for the first 30 minutes because I felt like it was too similar to the original.
Did she? Yeah. Was in the original? Was it his love interest that owned the bar too, or was it? Did Jennifer Connelly? No, because she wasn't even. Jennifer Connelly wasn't even in the first one.
No. His love interest in the first one was the teacher of the class.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I don't know what the actress's name is, but she's a different girl. And then this
was
one,
her name like Charlie or something in the movie?
Yeah, I think it was Charlie. And then this one, his love interest is some girl
Penny.
who, Penny. But like they just said, oh, she like.
Did she own the bar in the original? She might have.
Well, I don't know.
I don't even think she was in the original.
I think I just said that too. Yeah. Thank God.
I think they just said that he had like a small thing with her years ago. They never mentioned exactly what happened.
It was just weird how they kind of like introduced her and like, you're supposed to know who this is.
Well, they made it seem like they kept having an on and off relationship because she was saying, every time you come here, we do the same thing, then it ends the same way.
Yeah, and then she's like, it's not gonna end that way, but I get off at this time. It's like, well, if you don't want it to end that way, why are you telling me when you get off?
He's like, I don't remember what he said to her. And he put his card on the table or like something.
His phone, and
she rang the bell and he said. And everyone cheered, and he's like, "What?" And she pointed at the sign that said, like, disrespect, like, what did it say? Disrespect the military women, or put your phone on the bar, and the drinks are on you.
Yeah, and then around on you, he ended up having to pay her like $thousands of dollars.
And then they did it again,
a bunch of
and
rounds.
Then they carried him out of the bar and threw him on the ground, and he laughed.
Yeah, and then that's when he was outside and he saw Rooster doing the piano.
Great Balls of Fire.
And then he got depressed.
Yeah, I felt that. I was like, oh. Because the first one was so good, and him and Goose were really close in the first one. And then just seeing Goose's son playing Great Balls of Fire on a piano at the bar, I was like, oh.
Yeah, I thought Marcel was perfect casting for that.
Yeah, he played off of like the Goose character really well.
Yeah, that's what I saw an interview today. Miles Teller was talking about like how he had been, growing out his mustache for the role, and then he got his hair cut for the role, and he was like, dude, I showed up to set one day, and I was in full, like, not makeup, but I was in full like showing of this character, and Tom was like, "Dude, you look exactly like their son. Like you look exactly like a blend of Goose and his wife in the movie." And I was like, "Wow, he's right." I mean, he has like the like tall head, you know, and then the mustache, of course, the hair, and he looks a lot like Goose from the first one. And I thought he was a really good cast for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was there anything else you guys thought like you didn't like about the movie?
Besides that, no, not really. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I thought the way they explained the story and the mission was great.
Mm-hmm.
Really like Tom Cruise. The action is pretty decent. The effects are great.
Yeah.
It kind of makes me wonder, like, you know, these effects are all practical and real. You know, could this qualify for something like best visual effects for an Academy Award?
Or best stunt? Is that a category?
No, it's
not.
They won't do that.
I think cinematography or maybe like, you know, I think best visual effects is a category.
It is, yeah. That's why I don't know
might.
if this would qualify because it's
That's
just
fair.
more stunts than.
It might be more cinematography than special effects.
And probably cinematography.
Yeah.
Maybe I could see cinematography nomination for this.
Yeah. I said afterwards that I don't know about like best picture because like while it's an action movie, I don't know if it'd be nominated. I also didn't think Ford versus Ferrari would
I
be
wouldn't see
nominated.
best picture, but I think maybe cinematography.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see come award season. Yeah, there's not really anything else that I didn't like about it. It was just a really good movie. You know? I haven't seen a good Tom Cruise movie in a long time. I really haven't seen a Tom Cruise movie, period.
Did you watch Mission Impossible Fallout?
No, the last one I think I saw was the one after Ghost Protocol was Rogue Nation, right?
Yeah, that's the one I haven't seen actually.
Yeah. I think I saw Rogue Nation, but it was so long ago I don't remember.
What's the name of the new one that's coming next year? Part 1?
Dead something.
Yeah,
Dead Reckoning or something like that.
Dead Reckoning, I think you're right.
Something like that.
It's
But it's
part 1.
Dead Reckoning Part 1, so that
Yeah.
means they're going to do a Part 2. So, look out for that. Look out for that review. Mission Impossible.
Next year.
Next year. It was weird because that trailer came out like the day before Top Gun came out. So they timed that really well because everybody's talking about Tom Cruise.
Well, then they
They're
showed
like,
it. They're
"Oh,
like, here's
Mission
your
Impossible."
first, like, look at
I was
the...
thinking they timed. Oh, sorry.
What?
I was thinking they timed it horribly because they released it right before. Because I'm like, oh great, we get to see the trailer for the first time. It's like, no, they are released on the internet.
Yeah. It's a good point.
Like
I
with
think
Avatar,
Well, because then they...
they
Yeah.
might release it like the day of that early release.
With Avatar, what?
I was say with the new Avatar, they only showed it during Doctor Strange for like the first week,
Yeah,
and then they released it on online.
Yeah.
I wonder why they chose Doctor Strange, because was that the biggest movie at the time?
Disney,
Probably. Disney,
Fox,
Oh,
Marvel,
Disney.
yeah,
Is Avatar Fox?
yeah,
Oh.
they are.
Why
I
did
still have to watch
realize
the
that?
first one before I even think about watching the second one. Although I'll say the trailer for the second one looks really like stunning.
It looks nice.
Yeah.
But
There's an Avatar game coming out, I think, like this year, next year. It looks really cool.
I think I've heard of that. Yeah.
It's like Pandora, something of Pandora something.
but yeah,
Pandora Frontier.
Um,
Frontiers
I
of
like that.
Pandora.
something like that.
Yeah.
But with Top Gun though, so out of 5 stars, what would you guys rate it?
I'd say give it 4.5. I'd give it 4.5.
I think I put like 4.5 on Letterboxd. I'm not sure.
Might give it a 4.
Yeah.
4?
It was somewhere between 4 and 4.5 I put.
Well, you can only do 4 or 4.5.
I know.
You can't do in between.
Let me just look real quick.
4.25, but you can't.
You can't do that on Letterboxd.
No.
That would be cheating.
Yeah.
And I don't do that.
Okay. You don't lie, cheat, or steal? Eddie Guerrero fans out there? No. It's not stupid. Eddie Guerrero is a legend.
No, I know he is.
Yeah.
Oh, his
that's not bad.
wife's going to be at Terrificon. His widow.
Yeah. Vicky.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'll show up. That's all
Was he a
what's up.
wrestler?
Yeah, he's
he was like a
old
legend.
WWE wrestler. Died in like 2005.
I gave it a
6.
4 out of 5.
True. Good. Good.
All right.
Yeah, it's definitely better than some movies that we've seen so far, like Morbius.
Is that still your worst of the year? Is that your worst of the year?
Still my Razzie for like the worst movie of the year is Morbius.
I don't even know what's in my. I think it's in my top 10. I'm not.
For
It might be like number 10.
for what,
Best
worst?
movies or worst movies?
Worst.
Okay. Whew. I think you said your top 10 best movies. I was like,
Well, I mean, how many movies have you seen this year? Because if you haven't seen that many, it might be in your top 10 best, ironically.
yeah. I mean, we have like, what, 7 episodes out?
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And then the movies that I've seen that aren't reviewed, like some movies I may have seen at the beginning of the year, or some streaming service videos or movies that we haven't seen yet. So we'll see. I don't know. But yeah, that was Top Gun Maverick. Very good movie. Definitely worth a watch. Definitely worth your money in XD. Spend a few extra bucks because you can really feel all the jets. It's great.
They have an actual jet engine in the movie theater, so when it goes off, they blow it at you.
Yeah, exactly. It's like right on top of the theater, just right in your face.
The flames and all.
Yeah. But yeah, that was our review for Top Gun. Next, we are watching this weekend Crimes of the Future.
David
Yeah,
Cronenberg.
The next David Cronenberg movie.
That should be fun.
Yeah, so
That should be fun.
we'll
That's
have
interesting.
that review hopefully soon, and then
Yes.
we're gonna do for Jurassic World. We're gonna do the whole
We can
Yeah.
discuss on the movie.
shebang.
Yeah, Jurassic World is going to be a different review. We're not just going to review the new one, but we're also going to compare the Jurassic World movies and the Jurassic Park movies.
Didn't we do something like that before with another movie, like a series,
Oh.
or did we just do a long? I think our longest review was probably
I think we did that. We kind of did that for Men, where we talked about his other movies.
Yeah.
But we didn't actually. We've never done like a, comparing one.
The
trilogy
series.
to
yeah.
another,
No, this one
yeah.
we're gonna compare,
Oh, we kind
Yeah.
of compared this one, but there's only 2 movies.
Yeah, exactly.
but this one we're gonna compare the whole trilogy.
Yeah, and I mean
both
we did.
trilogies.
Yeah,
Both trilogies, the whole trilogy. Oh, yeah, both
Yeah, both
trilogies.
trilogies.
The whole 6-film trilogy.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
I'm kind of excited. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little.
I'm kind of excited for Jurassic World.
I'm not.
You know.
I don't have any like high hopes for it because like the
Hey,
first 2 were just like yeah.
Fallen Kingdom. I didn't like Fallen Kingdom.
I didn't like it either. The first one was the best out of the 2 I've seen so far.
I liked.
But
I
even
liked
the first Jurassic World was just like.
I think the only one that I really didn't like was The Lost World. But the others, I thought they were decent. Like, I definitely like some more than others, but I thought they were all pretty good. You know? I thought The Lost World, although it was a bad movie, did bring up a good question of, what's the world going to look like if we have dinosaurs running around, civilization.
Like that.
Which is
I
what
think-
which is what Fallen Kingdom Carbon pretty much did too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then, we're actually going to have Dominion where they're going to follow up on that. They're going to show exactly. We're like, The Lost World brought up the question, and then 3 just completely disregarded the question. And so now we have, the Fallen Kingdom brought up the question, and now Dominion's going to answer that. They're going to have dinosaurs everywhere. And I'm excited to see what they do.
Yeah, it's gonna be the longest one. It's gonna be like 2.5 hours long.
Is it really?
Jurassic Park movie, yeah.
Listen, I'm a good
Well, they brought
sucker
the
for,
original
like,
cast
monster
back. I think that's what I'm excited for, to see the original cast.
movies. Yeah.
That's
I-
what I was most excited about.
Yeah. Sam Neill.
Laura
Jeff
Dern.
Goldblum. or
Goldburn?
Jeff Gold,
Goldblum,
Sarah Dern.
who was actually in a David Cronenberg film. He was in The Fly, 1989.
Yeah, The Fly. Fly was another weird movie. Fly, yeah. David Cronenberg is good
it was
with.
creepy. Like it made me like feel weird watching that movie.
Yeah, he's really good at mutation sort of effects, and that's why Crimes of the Future looks like it's gonna be
Very
good.
practical. I've heard his effects are all practical too.
Yeah.
A lot of them.
It's gonna be a weird movie though.
I had
the
a weird
trailer's
dream
really
about it the
weird.
other night.
About
That you were
Crimes of the Future. Yeah, I had this like weird dream that I don't know what theater we went to. It was at some weird mall
Mhm.
that I have never seen before.
The Enfield Mall.
Yeah, no. Don't dox us.
What do you mean, dox us? Enfield's like a whole state away.
It is.
Oh man, they narrowed it down even more.
Yeah. No, we went to some weird theater to see it, and it like. So, we have no idea how the movie starts or whatever, right? But like, I went and we sat down, and the movie started, and it just this weird droning sound like just starts playing, and it's just this weird, like stuff showing up on the screen, and for some reason in the dream, I couldn't handle it, and I started freaking out, like getting like weird headaches and like feeling weird. And so I get up and I like run out of the theater, and I'm just like,
having nightmares about a movie I haven't seen
yeah,
yet.
because I keep hearing all these like
Power
weird.
of David Cronenberg.
It is. I keep hearing all these weird things about it, and then I end up
dramatic.
in some like old video store for some reason, like a Blockbuster, and I'm standing there, just like listening to 2 random people I've never seen before talk, and then all of a sudden I get like dizzy and I start like slowly passing out. Like, and then when I say slowly, I'm just slow motion, like falling backwards and doing this to the movie, like knocking them off the shelves.
You vividly remember this dream.
I do, because
Yeah.
it was the most bizarre dream I've had in a long
It'll
time.
probably be a scarier experience than the movie.
And then I like slowly fall, and then people are like, "Oh, look at him, he's falling." But I was like really like slow motion falling, and I was like knocking movies down. And for some reason, that shot of the dream, it was like in first person.
Oh man.
It was bizarre. And then I'm on like I don't even think I actually touched the ground. I think it was like in the air on the ground.
Wait, Andrew, have you dreams in first person?
Sometimes I dream in third person.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I think I do. I don't. I think I've done it like a few times.
I've only dreamt in first person.
Yeah, I've only dreamed in first person. I think it's. I don't remember what my face looks like when I dream.
Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, I don't look in the mirror too often because they always crack.
But anyways, and then like people are helping me, and there's like this weird like hazing effect going over my face. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
when you're like,
Oh, like a blur. Like,
yeah.
Like you never signed the consent form, so you get a blur.
Well, no,
your
like
face out.
I see like a hazy. It's all hazy in front of me, and then I kind of come to, and I look down, and I have like chicken feathers on my feet. Like I don't like. It was weird.
It's weird.
And then I'm like really confused, and I'm like, huh? And I'm running through the mall, and I'm like, I hear our friend Andrew. I hear his voice, and I was like, oh. And I run up to you guys. You're at like a table, like having lunch, and I guess you didn't care that I had just laughed for like a long time.
Well, I mean, if that happened, we probably won't care either.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
And I run up to you guys. I'm like,
gone
I was like,
now.
guys, I don't know what happened. And I don't remember what I said to you guys. And then there was, I don't know who this person was that was with you guys. Just some kid. There was like a kid with you. I don't know who he was.
Tony?
No, it was just like some like 15-year-old kid or something. You guys hanging around 15-year-olds?
No, I don't. hang
You're
out
dreaming
with
about us.
15. Yeah.
And then he said some like really snarky thing to me. I was like, whatever, man. And then somehow we like get lost in the mall, and I'm trying to find out my way out. And then we run into like, what's his name? Kirk. What's that? Kirk Douglas? Is that what his name is? The actor?
How long is this dream?
It's almost done. It's the actor's like right, Kirk Douglas.
Who's dead?
No, who's what the hell's his name? Kurt something. He's
Kurt
from
Cameron?
Reynolds?
No,
No,
who
Burt
was he was he played in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. He played Star Wars' father.
Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell, thank you.
Okay.
He's from Springfield.
Really? He's from The Thing.
He is. I saw him and he was like Santa because I saw him in a Netflix movie where he played Santa. So I was like Santa. I was like, oh.
What is this?
But like I knew who he was the actor.
God.
I knew he was Kurt Russell, and he was like, "What's up, man?" And I like we knew each other somehow.
This would be a great like separate episode where we just dissect his dreams and figure out
That's right. That's
what they mean.
Analyzing Chris's.
I had a
dreams for the
fever
long-
dream about Crimes of the Future before you even seen it.
This is a whole like separate podcast.
And then he like turned around and turned back, and he was like one of my old bosses, and I was like,
Where is this going?
I don't know.
It started off with crimes against.
And then I
the future,
don't
or crimes of
remember
the
what
future.
happens after that. I think I woke up. I think I was like my last thought was, wow, he has a hairy back, and then I woke up.
This is some weird dreams, man.
That was the weirdest
know what
dream
to
I've
say.
had in a long time, and I vividly remember it because of how
You said you're
bizarre.
editing this, right?
Yeah.
No, I vividly remember because of how bizarre it was.
Yeah. I'll probably just yeah, I'm gonna edit this one. Just gonna lower
You want to
it
edit
down.
it, Chris?
Can we reenact it and then you can put the
Yeah, but like
we have to get Kurt
we'll do like a
Kurt
short
Russell.
film.
Yeah, we'll do.
a reenactment. This is a
We'll
reenactment.
do a podcast on our short film reviewing it,
Yeah,
and we all hate it.
Exactly.
It's we actually get Kurt Russell.
Yeah. Kurt, if you're watching, let us know why you went to our
And plus,
our next short
you
film.
also doxed us too, by the way.
Did I? I just said he's from Springfield.
But who cares about Springfield unless you're from Springfield?
I don't know. It's where basketball was invented.
Oh, not even there's now you narrowed down to which Springfield.
In-
You know,
Yes,
that's
Dave. God damn it!
Oh, Chris. Well, anyways.
I mean, Springfield on the planet of
Springfield, Oregon.
the Simpsons.
The Simpsons.
The Simpsons Springfield.
Oh, my favorite part of the movie for The Simpsons where he's like, look, we're in Springfield. We're at the top peak. You can see like...
We're not legally allowed.
What
Yeah.
was it? Nebraska,
like-
Nevada, Maine, and Kentucky. Is that what it was?
And then when they
they're
did
all,
the
like, different.
they did the Family Guy like Springfield crossover, and the Griffin's like, "Which Springfield is this?" And he goes, "I don't think we're legally allowed to say."
Oh. Anyways, that was Top Gun Maverick.
I think.
I think.
A little bit of a weird dream in there too.
Yeah. But look out for this review. Well, this review.
I guess this was like anticipation for the next review.
Yeah, the next review is gonna be Crimes of the Future.
We will tell you if I actually grow chicken feathers on my feet.
Yeah, we'll let you know. We'll have him take his.
I don't want to end up on wiki feet.
You know that has to be the thumbnail, right? For that movie.
Yeah.
Chicken feathers on my feet.
For Crimes of the Future, yeah.
Chicken feet.
Wait, how are we gonna do that?
Sign up for Chris's
Well, let me how we're
OnlyFans
gonna
where
do
he will
it.
show his chicken feet
I do have chicken feet.
on his OnlyFans.
My only roost.
His only clothes. All right. Now, that was Top Gun.
With some other things that happened.
Yes. Keep a lookout for our next review of Crimes of the Future, Jurassic World. Those are the next two that we're coming out with. We might think of some other, one-off videos that we're gonna review, or just come up with, on the fly. Also, before we go, we did want to say we heard the sad news of one of the better pioneers of acting, Ray Liotta. The passing of Ray Liotta from Goodfellas,
Field of Dreams.
He was in Identity. He was in a bunch of different classics, and sad to see him go. I believe he was like 60-something years old.
67,
yeah.
Because that's how old my dad is.
Yeah, so sad passing of another legend, but he will be missed.
I believe he was in the Dominican Republic shooting a film when he died in his sleep. I think he had a heart attack, is what I heard.
That's rough. He was really good. Definitely one of my favorite classic actors. I saw Goodfellas for the first time 2 years ago.
The same, yeah.
It was really good, I thought. But yeah, unfortunate passing. But keep a lookout for our next videos, Crimes of the Future, Jurassic World. We're probably gonna do something bigger for Thor, because not only is Thor coming out,
Thor 4,
Taika Waititi is directing. Mm-hmm. We'll probably talk about some of his films. Talk about how he basically rejuvenated Thor.
Yeah.
I thought he did really good.
There's only
him back.
one more Taika Waititi movie to watch, which is Boy.
I haven't seen that one either.
I actually bought it on Google Play because it had extra Google Play credits. So I bought it on YouTube.
Was it like a comedy or a drama?
I don't know. It's like it looks like it's a coming of age story. I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, he usually does comedy.
Well, like Hunt for the Wilder People.
Well, he does drama, but there's comedy.
Like dramedy.
Yeah, like Jojo Rabbit.
Hunt for the Wilder People, which was really good.
Yeah, he does a lot, and he has a few shows out too. I think there's one on HBO and maybe.
Reservoir Dogs. Not Reservoir. Sorry,
Reservation Dogs.
Reservation Dogs.
Yeah.
Not Reservoir.
I'll probably catch up on a few of his movies before they come out.
The Taika Waititi classic, Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah.
I think Eagle vs. Shark, which is his debut movie. I think it's still Amazon Prime. I watched that last week.
I'll have to check it out.
He had Our Flag Means Death.
That's on HBO.
Was that him? Yeah, that's him. That's Taika, right?
I don't know if
he plays Blackbeard.
I think he's in it.
He plays Blackbeard.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out.
And then Reese Darby, who I really like.
Yeah, I thought he directed Free Guy, but he didn't.
No,
he was just in it. That was Sean Levy, the guy who did Stranger Things I think Sean Levy did season 4.
Yeah, which sucks because Ryan Reynolds seems like the perfect guy for a Taika Waititi movie. He seems like his comedy with Taika Waititi.
Well, they were in Green Lantern together as well.
Were they?
Was he in Green Lantern?
Taika Waititi was his friend.
I haven't seen it in a long time. It wasn't.
I've never seen it.
It wasn't a good movie.
I know. I've never seen it because of that.
But what was it? Sam Levy though? Wasn't he just confirmed for Sean Levy? Wasn't he just confirmed for Deadpool 3, or was that a rumor?
I think he was.
Dude, I don't know anymore. I'm subscribed to Screen Culture on YouTube, and they're always putting up fake trailers.
I am too, and then I always think it's real because I forget.
Today I saw one. Yeah, today I saw one for Deadpool 3, and I was like, it's probably bullshit. I never know. I always scroll down, and if I see something from Marvel or from Disney, I'm like, all right, that's the real one. That's how I know it's real.
But they just had the Star Wars celebration, and I think it was Kathleen Kennedy. She said that the next big screen Star Wars film is going to be coming out next year, and it's going to be done by Taika Waititi. So I said, I'm excited for that.
Yeah. But yeah, expect those videos to come out soon. Maybe we'll start. We have plans to start another series on TV shows, which we are going to start off with, I believe, Doctor Who.
I need to get on that. I've been really busy.
It's going to be one podcast episode per season. So we're starting off with season 1, starring Christopher Eccleston, of course, and Billy Piper. And then for every season we watch, we'll do another episode. And then after that, we'll do other series and shows. So let us know if you want us to do any series or shows.
The guy from that what's that show, Sex Education, just get Isn't he the new Doctor? or-
Shooty something. I forget his last name.
Oh, I don't know.
Isn't it
I've never seen
Nakuti? Nakuti or something?
I forget what his last name is, but that was first name Shooty.
Is it? I thought it was Nakuti or something.
Well, I think it's pronounced Shooty
Oh.
because it's like NC.
Yeah, that's why I thought it was Nakuti or Nkuti.
But this video is very long now. So.
It is. How long
Let's,
is it?
So our last video I edited was like 45 minutes, I think. 45, almost an hour.
Yeah,
And this was at 1700. It's currently at 2000. So it's a little bit longer.
Yeah, we're gonna end it now.
Yeah, we're gonna end it now.
Alright.
Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and share this video. And we will see you in the next one later.
Bye.
See ya. Bye.
Perfect.
All right.
Yeah, it's gonna be a long one to edit.